Hello, everyone. You're welcome to the Organ House concert and seminar series. Of course, we know you will be there, and we are happy that you have joined us today again. We started with the music and all the conversations on the ground here, and I'm sure you enjoyed the music also. But to the business, thanks so much for joining us today again. We are always excited and happy to have you join us on a weekly basis, and we celebrate your consistency in that sense. Thank you so much. For those joining us for the first time, this is the Organ House concert and seminar series at the Organ House, the music department at Mountaintop University, Prayer City in Nigeria. The project is about documentation, it's about music, and it's about artistic conversation. So it's a free space where we discuss issues within and out of music. It is free space in the sense that we empower voices, we allow creativity, and we allow expression of diverse, even contrasting views on matters around music and the connection between artistic work and creative work, musicology, ethnomusicology, performances, organ, piano, whatever you can call it. So this is where we discuss, curate, and also disseminate knowledge on these topics, particularly from Nigerian perspective and how it relates to the African continent and also African and African diaspora continent. So it's a space where we, engage ideas, and in doing so, we have different layers of projects we do. One of them is what we are doing today, which I will explain further as we progress today. So the idea for this one is to document Nigerian church music. And by that, I mean to curate stories of people, instrument, practice, ideas, and spaces. Churches, we have some historical churches, we have people who have been in the industry for many years, and we also have people who are not necessarily loud in terms of visible, in terms of social media, but within the practice, the community, we have people who have been there for years, who have contributed to the discourse and practice in Nigeria. So these are the priorities for this component of our research, which on a monthly basis, we are going to have a session like this where we bring one Nigerian musician, organist, composer who is located within Nigerian church music to this platform to engage them, to from their lens, to engage and understand the history of aspects of organ culture, church music, choral culture in Nigeria. As you know, the Nigerian organ music, or let's say choral music or church music, particularly from the sacred church perspective, is quite significant and has a long history, but we hardly talk about this aspect of our culture. So the idea is to document and to promote those who are working in this particular industry. So that's one. The other one that is also important to share with you is that at the Organ House, on a weekly basis or monthly basis, we are also running several research projects where we talk about performance, we curate artistic work, performances. Of course, you've seen some of the performances we play today are part of the project on this platform. So do well to join us on a weekly basis, and also try and visit our YouTube page where we document this conversation for access. The idea is to curate them and make them available for those who, of course, we know you need them for your research, for your project, for your whatever you are doing, and to advance knowledge about Nigerian music generally. So go to our YouTube page, the Organ House on YouTube, then you will definitely see hundreds of recordings. Yeah, we have projects which are also on the pipeline. Definitely, I will announce this towards the end of this conversation, today. So, but today, is a strategic one. It's very significant and it's very important. We started the organ conversation in 2024. For a reason, we had to pause and do other things. So we are back with this particular series, and we promise you, we are not going to stop now. This is very important for us. You are important in this conversation also. So get ready. You might be the next on this platform. Get ready. We are going to reach out to you. So today, we are having a special person whom I have known for many years, both from distance and closely, in the organ ecosystem, choral music, professional music in Lagos and Nigeria, of course. So I am happy to welcome Mr. Alaba Akinselure today. So you are welcome, Mr.
Yes,
Alaba.
my pleasure to be here. My name is Alaba Akinselure. I've been actively involved in music for close to 33 years now, right from when I was in secondary school. And I've had the opportunity of leading choirs, church choirs here and there. I actually started from Christ Apostolic Church.
Wow.
Most people may not know this. Although by birth, I'm an Anglican, but along the line, I found myself in Christ Apostolic Church, and that was where I actually started from. And I actually started as a drummer. Many people may not know this part of the story. Then we used to have one of our pastors then. We call him Pastor Ojo. He was a revivalist. So we always accompanying him to revivals, crusade, and most of the time we accompanying on drums. Then there were no keyboards. So as time goes on, I developed interest in piano, and from there, I started building up myself, and I had a lot of choral experiences here and there. So it has been a lovely thing to do music, both organ and choral music here and there.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Definitely, that's just like they say, a tips of the eyes work, So we are entering into the conversation shortly, and just get ready, And also, I know you might have one or two questions to ask Mr. Akinselure today. So you are also part of this conversation. So you are part of it. So when it's time, we are going to invite you to ask Mr. Akinselure to also contribute to the conversation today. So let us start. Then we will invite you as soon as we get to that position. Please get your question set and get ready to engage with Mr. Akinselure today. So, Mr. Akinselure, of course, I know you as Uncle Alaba, Mr. Alaba. Yeah. So, the conversation is we're not going to make it, we're going to make it very, very inclusive in terms of, it's not like for our friends, don't worry, this is not an academic, no. It's a conversation. It's like a community conversation, a family meeting. So you are welcome to also join in that line when it's time. So I have a few questions for you. Definitely, there are questions that I've prepared that I know they will help us to get to know you, and also within the Nigerian Lagos ecosystem, the organ accompaniment. This is a big industry, but people don't know. But how do we know? We need to know by engaging people like you and many others who are also on this call today. Maybe I'll call them out as when it's time. Yeah, big names for that matter. Brothers, uncles, professional colleagues, they are on the call, and I'm happy to see them. So let's start with a bit of history. History stories are important. So I think the first thing I want to ask you is, what really motivated your entry into music?
Well, that's a lovely question. When I was in secondary school, right, just like I said earlier, we were in Christ Apostolic Church. I do go out with one of our pastors then. But along the line, I also found out there are other sides of music, aside drumming or going for crusade and something like that. So later on, I met someone who introduced me to Baba Fayemi. I used to be Baba Fayemi. Baba Fayemi is one of the foremost organ builders in Nigeria at that time. And Baba had a music school, a mini music school then. And when I found out, I discovered that the music school, anyway, is still actually in Ilukpeju. Adeshinyo, in the street is Adeshinyo in Ilukpeju. And it's not too far away from my place. Actually, we lived on Oladele Street, Pangrove. Anybody that knows Pangrove very well, you know Shillong Street. Yeah. Shillong is a very popular street. Yeah. And the street also begins from the end of Shillong to the end of Kayode Street. Onipan. So that's why we would normally call that place Pangrove Onipan. So when I discovered that it was close to our house, then I enrolled. So when I got there, I saw the son of Baba Fayemi, who is now late now. The Mr. Shegun Fayemi is also late now. So he was one that introduced us to proper piano playing. Although some of us who enrolled at that time were already playing, had little knowledge, but Shegun Fayemi, taught us theory of music. And we started then. The popular piano tutor was Smallwood.
Smallwood, yeah.
So I started with Smallwood. And by God's grace, I played almost all the pieces in Smallwood before now going to playing hymns and so on. So during my stay in that school, I found a young man called Sunday Yusuf. Sunday Yusuf is a great organist. As at 1996, if I'm not mistaken, as at 1996, Sunday Yusuf had played almost all the songs from Mandel Messiah. And I marveled. The first time I saw him play Hallelujah Chorus, I was like, wow. Then, thereafter, I had one mentor then. We used to call him Brother Sami Adewusi. Adewusi is the younger brother of Ayo Adewusi, the popular Ayo Adewusi. Now, so Brother Sami was the choirmaster at a church, CSE Vono. It's a very small church, but the volume of concert in that church. That year, I saw somebody, a very popular name. If I mention the name, you'll be surprised. And that person was Adejola Adeosun.
Okay.
I think that concert was in 1996. I remember either 96 or 7. It's either 96 or 7. So that choir in that small church, CSE Vono Choir, performed the 12th Mass that year. And the person in accompanied was Adejola Adeosun. I marveled at, I was so surprised that this young person could play at this kind of level. Oh my God. In fact, after the concert, I want to lay my hands on the keyboard. I said, I will tap this anointing. It was very funny. I was very young then. So So I just touched the keyboard. I said, no, I must. So thereafter, I also met Mr. What's the name? He's in the US now. Mr. Mogaji. Larry Mogaji. A fantastic organist. And yeah, then he was at St. Paul's, Idioro. There were times I went to meet him there. Then he showed me certain secrets of playing and how to teach choir. I remember the first time I had an encounter choral and I was in a rehearsal with him. The song then he used was "And the Glory of the Lord," and from there I saw that he explained to me that that kind of music is a contrapuntal in nature. You have different melodies going on simultaneously, different melodies together. So I met Larry Mogaji. Then at a time, these are people that helped me, made me show so much interest in. Then at a time, my teacher, the late Segun Fayemi, told me about Apostolic Faith concert. As at that time, they were still at Anthony.
Yeah.
So every year, they had 3 major concerts.
Okay.
The Easter Sunday concert, the August camp meeting, and the Christmas concert.
Yeah.
So for close to 10 years, I never missed any of those concerts.
Wow.
And then each time I attend, I'm talking about from 98 to early 2000.
Yeah.
And I was always attending the concert. So one of the things that got me stuck to Apostolic Church events was, Baba Reverend John Aino.
Definitely.
The way Baba conducts, was fantastic. I really got enthralled by his conducting style. And as at that time, when I saw that somebody conducting a large choir and a large orchestra, it was a big deal for me then. So because at my age and at my level as at that time, so I thought it as a big deal that this is something great. Then along the line, I met Mr. David Aino. I met Mr. David Aino. I've heard about David Aino. The first time I saw David Aino, I was disappointed. Do you know why I was disappointed?
Why?
I was the name. When I had the name David, I was expecting a very tall, a giant. When I saw Mr. David Aino, they said, Alaba, this is Mr. David Aino. I was like, oh, this is Mr. David Aino. It was very funny. I just said, so this is the Mr. David Aino I've been looking forward to see. When I saw him, then I met him in Lasso. I did diploma in Lasso at that time. So I met him and I learned a lot of things from him, conducting, choir training and this, even playing. Because at the time, Mr. Aino was one of the major accompanists in Lagos.
Wow.
As at that time. Because in the late 80s, even Mr. Saimika Mokedi confirmed it. That those days, there were no accompanists, You say, I remember sometimes ago, Saimika Mokedi will say that he will have to travel all the way from Lagos to Ibadan, either to see late Christopher Ayorinde. Ayodele, or late Kayode Oni. So I met David Aino. Then later, when I was in St. Stephen's Igbobi, I got to St. Stephen's, in 2004. Then I also met their choir director, late Sir Mike Izora. Now, if you check in Lagos in recent times, that choirs have been singing descants, here and there. That man composed about 40 descants and published the book.
Wow.
When he had to retire in 2004, then I was just coming in. Yes, I was just coming in as a very young boy, young man, not a boy now, young man. So when he was to retire, the priest then, the then Reverend Canon Obina Ulogwara, advised that he arrange those descants and publish it for future sake. So I did it. So in the process of publishing that work, we brought in Samika Mokedi.
Okay.
And that was where the journey started.
Wow.
So we brought in Samika Mokedi, and was the one that we did recording at that time. We recorded some of those hymns with the beautiful descants and also published those hymns. So we published the book and also released a CD, which has all the descants of late Sir Mike Izora. So during that process, I met Samika Mokedi, Then as time goes on, I was invited to City Choral in 2005. So when I joined City Choral in 2005, it was another experience for me.
I think we should stop there, because we are still going to break them one by one and capture them. So of course you have discussed apparently you discussed the early education, early career trajectory, moving from your church, LASU, and in the process, then meeting Sir Nwokedi. Yes. So then the question is, when exactly did you start playing the organ and working with the choir?
Yes. I've been working.
And again, you can also mention the organ, the place, the choral tradition at the time when you started.
Yes. I started training. I've been training a choir when I was in CAC, but then I was also going out. Then there was no organ, so at the time I was going to BAM.
BAM.
Yes. I met Mr. Now Dr. Shegun Fade.
Okay.
And the late, there used to be Mr. Olujimi.
Yeah.
Late Olujimi. He was the organist and choirmaster at BAM Church in Surulere. So I met him in one of the schools. Was it school competition? I think I went to accompany a student. Then they used to have music practical exams in schools like Queen's College and one other school. I can't remember, but late Olujimi was one of the teachers there. Okay. So he was actually in charge of them. So from there, he introduced me to BAM. He said, you can come to BAM. So then I was going to play at BAM. Sometimes I play for some years. I was playing, nobody may know this, but I was playing, I was the organist during their Even Song.
Wow.
Then Even Song was still that should be around 99, 98, 99.
Wow.
I was going to play there so that I could have access to organ. Then he he also helped me out, gave me some lessons. Okay, is how to use the stuff. They do use this and use that. So then, during that time too, I was also visiting Mr. Lanre Mogaji at St. Paul's. Idioro,
St. Paul Idioro. Wow.
Yes, St. Paul's Idioro. I was also going there. So sometimes I also played the Even Song. Then I've handled choirs like I've had CSO Woduni Choir.
Okay.
Then there is this church at Olorunshogo, St. Philip's.
St. Philip.
St. Philip's at Olorunshogo. You know, I was there too. I handled the choir. Then the next place was at Idimu. Played at One Christ Methodist Church. It's at the back. There's one place called Lasu Road.
Okay.
In Idimu. And there's one popular Catholic church there. It's called, I think, St. Francis.
Okay, yeah.
So the church is at the back of St. Francis. You know, so I was there for 2 years, and they had an organ. So I played the organ. Then I was also directing the choir then. So from there, I moved to St. Stephen's. St. Stephen's Igbobi. And when I got to St. Stephen's, I also met that old man I was talking about, the one that wrote those descants.
Okay.
So they have a small organ then, which we were using for worship. Then it was from there, from St. Stephen, and I moved to my present church, which is Holy Trinity.
Holy Trinity.
Ikate. And this should be my 19th year.
19th year.
Yes.
Okay. I think we are going to pause for now. Wow. 19th year at Holy Trinity Ikate. That's Sule, right?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. That's a big one. I'm coming. Just want to put that so I won't forget Ikate. Okay. So I am quite fascinated by your, the ways in which you have transitioned from different, of course, from different places, different ideologies, and different professionalism. People with experience come and do this, come and do, which is quite significant, particularly in a place like Lagos, a cosmopolitan city. You are going to meet different people from different background. But the question I want to ask again is, at this time when you were meeting, you are starting all this early process, or who were the pioneers, and influences, when you started, when you were doing this? Who were the people that, like earlier you mentioned John, I know, so who were in the organ, in the Anglican, in the close Anglican Orthodox setting? Who were the?
Yes.
And you mentioned a few.
Yes. In the as early as mid-90s, I'd come up. I've always visited St. Jude's.
Okay.
Then I was attending their rehearsals. Was just sit at the back. Okay. Even at the time, I was also going to Cathedral Marina.
Wow.
Because I love to attend rehearsal sessions. That is where you
experience
all the corrections, for example. I remember in the mid-90s, the now Cathedral Church of St. Jude's,
okay,
I think, performed the whole of Messiah or an extra, I can't really remember, with a chamber orchestra. But the accompanist then was Mama Tolu Obajimi.
Wow.
In fact, I had to sit very close to where Mama was, and I was looking at the way she was, accompanying the choir, despite the fact that the orchestra was also playing. And I realized that, there is also a way you play when the orchestra is playing.
Definitely.
Because when you are playing, when you are the only accompanist, it's quite different from when the orchestra is playing.
Yeah.
So I also learned that, like when you are playing with the orchestra, the stops you use, probably you might not use the pedal too often.
Yeah.
Then the way where the organ should be more prominent, all those ones are very important, maybe during recitatives and so on, you understand? So the people that I also saw then were Baba Showale. At one of Baba Showale's rehearsal, Baba Showale can look at one section of a music for close to 30 minutes. Yes, there was a day I attended the rehearsal at St. Jude's, now Cathedral of St. Jude's. They finished that rehearsal at 11 p.m.
Wow.
Because he was not satisfied. And you know, one of the things I love so much about that Baba there, then he used to have this haircut, punk. You know, each time Baba put on his academic gown for choir festival and is conducting, and each time he raised the hand, the kind of sound, you know, it's all male choir.
Yeah.
So the quality of sound and the volume of sound that you hear is, you know, is something out of this world. So, and one thing I like about the Baba is the courage, the discipline, you know, really. So I would say Baba Showale, I've always known Baba Showale a long time. Later on, I was following
Kayode.
I'm talking about the 90s.
90s.
Then it was in the early 2000s I met veterans like Sir Emeka Nwokedi, Mr. David Aino,
Okay.
and host of many other people.
Okay.
You understand? But in the 90s, the people that I met, then I'll not forget the late Ayo Adeosi. The late Ayo Adeosi.
Wow.
Late Ayo Adeosi was a great organist. That man, the first time I saw him play, wow, I was so surprised, and I marveled at the level of playing. I'm talking of 90s.
90s, wow.
Yes, 90s. Shortly before I now met Jola at that concert.
Okay, wow.
You understand? So those are the people that I really saw at that time that really made me
motivate. Okay,
yes.
No, that's great. That's great. So we're working with CAC choir, of course, your own choir. Then other Anglican churches at this time. Wow. So at the time, can you remember, you said in your own church you have not organ, but perhaps keyboard, right? So at the BAM church, can you recollect the type of organ? Was it the organ they had before they bought this new one?
No, yes, the one before the...
That's a 5-manual
Yes, 5-manual organ.
Wow.
Yes. I was there. Then they had Mr. Olujimi, late Olujimi. He died in 2005.
Yeah.
Then we have Mr. Medo. Can't remember his first name, Mr. Medo. Then along the line, Dr. Fadi too was there. So all those were, you know, early 2002, 3, 4. I was always going to play at their evil song. In fact, the late Olujimi graciously gave me the organ key.
Wow.
So I will go there, we'll practice, I'll practice there and then wait for the evil song. Then I got some books from Olujimi, you know, and I'll practice. Then he'll show me. In fact, on the books, there are some markings on the books. Tell you where to play. So this, use 8, use these stops, use this, that, you know, put a reed here, you know. There were instructions on the book, so it's really guided. Then after practicing, I'll wait for the... Then at a time also, there was Zenith Voices.
Okay.
Managed by Dr. Segun Fade.
Dr. Segun Fade, yes.
So at that time, Tosin Ajayi was there.
Okay.
Ayo Ajayi was there, and myself.
When was it the mid 2000 or say in the 90s?
No, early 2000.
Early 2000.
Early 2000. So then at Zenith Voices, we will come on Saturday. Mr. Fade then will bring a couple of hymns. We'll look at it because everybody was sight reading, even the singers.
Yeah.
Then in that choir, then we used to have Angela Akwarandu. He's in Muzo now, you know. Used to have let me see if I can still remember some name. Then there was a lady too called Idowu. Now Idowu, I know. Then I used to have my friend too, Dennis Adeoti. We were all young. Then my assistant organist at the time at Holy Trinity, Damilola Balogun, in US now, was also fantastic singers. So we'll come to we'll come to BAM on Saturday areas, and on Sunday we'll sing. Most of the times, those hymns are, you know, they are new tunes.
Yeah.
To show you the level of, you know, proficiency sight reading at that time. You know, we come. Sometimes I'll play piano. Ayo Ajayi or Tosin Ajayi will play. Sometimes we just find a way of sharing the work, and it was fantastic. Then at the time, I joined the Lagos City Choral. I joined City Choral in 2005. That was when they were preparing for 2005.
Wow.
2005. Okay. That was when they were preparing for Judas Maccabeus.
Okay.
So at that time, I was new. So I was the rehearsal accompanist. You know,
Okay.
because I was new. So I was still. So, but Mr. Leye,
yeah,
Ogunlabi, was the organist, was the concert accompanist. So he played. Then that 2005, I was in St. Stephen already at that time. So that weekend, I performed Judas Maccabeus as a singer. Then at the time I was a book turner. On that Saturday, the following day, I conducted the whole of Messiah at St. Stephen Igbobi.
Wow.
In 2005. I had Mr. Leye again as the accompanist and Tosin Ajayi.
Wow.
And it was a lovely, it was a very good concert.
Definitely, we will come to that actually. So you are already entering into the next focus now. So I think the next thing we want to do now is you.
Okay.
So what we have done so far is to find a way to establish some fact through history, a bit of history actually. So what is very clear now from your conversation is that let's say from the mid-90s to mid-2000, early 2000, 2005, we have the likes of Yola Adeosun, Tosin Ajayi, Ayo Ajayi, and many others that we can't even mention. Sunday Yusuf.
Yes, Sunday Yusuf, yes.
Even before then.
Yes, before. As far as 96, you know.
Wow, yeah. So this generation and many others, they laid the foundation, you know. They laid the foundation. I mean, they were that era. They defined, perhaps, they were maybe the upcoming at the time, or the generation in charge at the time. And it's quite... it's so interesting to know this actually, because of course these people they've been around for many years. So then they were around, you know, they were controlling things in quotes, you know. From that 90s down to, let's say, early 2000, because by 2000 we have many people who also
let me also chip in. Then I also had a friend, Abayomi Eludire. We all grew up together.
Wow.
We all grew up together, you know, CSC, you know.
Wow.
Yes. So Abayomi now moved from CSC to African Church in Oyinbo.
Okay.
Then we were still together. We're doing a lot of things together. I accompanied the Choir festival a lot of times, several years. Then later, he moved to Olowo Methodist Church, Olowo. Their first, in 2005, they had the Easter, they call it cantata.
Okay.
Every Wednesday before Easter Sunday. It's a tradition in that church. They don't miss it. I think we performed Oliver to Calvary. I was on the piano. Tosin Ajayi was on the organ.
On the organ, wow.
Yes, was on the organ at that time. So Abayotu Eludire has also been there. At least people that I've really had contact with. Then when I came to Muzon, I should stop for now.
No, just stop for now. Yeah. So the point is, we want to curate.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what we're trying to do. So I'm happy you mentioned Abayomi Eludire. In fact, that's that generation, Ayo Ajayi, Adejola Adeosun. In fact, I think Jola Adeosun was around even before mid-90s. So because the fact that he's playing at that level by 1996,
yes,
it means that he's been around for like 5 years before. and those people also, Josie and Jaya and co. The fact that by mid-90s we're already playing oratorio or whatever they are playing at the time at that level of mastery, it means they've been around 5 years before that time. So let's just put it that way. In case for those who want to write history, that's why we are doing this now. This is very important for all of us. So we won't misrepresent these people, it's very, very important. And also, we need to know this to respect the people around us. So when people walk into a room, we know, oh, this one has been around, you respect them. We are not used to doing that in this part of the world. So we want to inculcate it as part of our culture, to respect people for their value, for what they've done for us, But we are just entering into the conversation. So the mid-90s was so important, I think. It was very, very important. And also, like we are mentioning now, there's another generation that came before these people.
Yes.
I'll mention 2 people now, or let's say 3 of them. I think within the Lagos Aziz, the David Oluwole, the CAC boys.
Yes.
David Oluwole, Oyawale. He's late.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, the Oyawale, then who else again? David Oluwole, Ayelabola.
Yes.
Ayelabola. Yeah, so we know that's another generation, of course. We come back to.
Then there was also one man at Methodist Church, Agojaye. Atundaolu.
Yes, Samuel Atundaolu.
Because
I met
Atundaolu in 2001. No, not 2001. I went to this church in 2001. I saw Mr. Sunday Adewusi.
Okay.
At St. David's, Lafiaji.
Okay, then
in 2001.
Okay.
So he was looking for an assistant organist. And I told him that, no, I don't want to. I live very far. No, I don't want somewhere too far away from my place, because then, as I tell you, I was living with my brother. So, so I don't want to go too far away from home. So one day I think I went to accompany a service. I now saw one of their old programs. I saw Atundaolu, choirmaster. So I now inquired. I said, so Mr. Atundaolu was there for? He said, yes. So later, somebody introduced me to Mr. Atundaolu. Then, if you know that church, they perform works every year.
Yeah. He also took the culture to Williams Cathedral.
That's the Williams.
That's
the church I go there.
I also worked with him for, I think, like 5 years. Yeah.
He now brought me in. At the time, I was just a rehearsal company.
Okay. Wow.
I remember from 2000, I can't remember the years, but even before we met at
Cathedral.
At Cathedral.
Okay.
Where we accompanied Solomon.
I
had already done Solomon
with Atundaolu.
So that was when they brought me to play Solomon. I said hello. I just saw it as something not too strange. So that was I even accepted, because the little time they gave me will have discouraged me.
Yeah.
For the fact that I've done that work before. Then I also did with him, I think Esther.
Yes.
Samson too. Then at the time, Elijah.
They also did St. Paul also, I think.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I did St. Paul with them.
Okay.
Then there were times I was the rehearsal accompanist. So I will not perform. Then they may bring in Oyawale, the late Oyawale now. Wow. So along the lines, so these are people that are really, affected by.
Right. I think that is quite interesting to. Of course, this is one of the value of this conversation, and we are going to keep this conversation alive. On a monthly basis, we'll bring one of us to come and tell us what really happened. So I am happy that you are mentioning some important names that like the Atundaolu. I also in the 2009, 2008, I think I was working with that choir. And Kiyo from CAC Shaba was now the assistant of Atundaolu, which is a boy of Oyawale, trained by Oyawale.
Okay.
Amos.
Amos.
Yes.
It's a
So exactly.
Oh.
So I worked with them for like 5 to 6 years on a row, performing oratorio also. Yeah, I remember clearly. So the point is, I'm so happy we're having this conversation. So we know who and who belongs to a particular generation. Yeah, like they say, casually, your mates. I know be your mate. That's just right the way anyway. So there are some people that are among us that we need to respect. They really, like they say, they have paid their dues. Yeah, they've paid their dues. Yeah, definitely. Of course. Even this generation also, there's one of my brothers called, what's his name? He and Korede Omokpeluyi were advining. Faloro. Bode Faloro.
I'm trying to.
Bode, yeah. So he was also grounded in that season, Bode is actually from Vining. Bode, I think Korede also in this generation, these were the generation.
Yes. I also work with Corridor. We were together.
So this generation is quite important. The 90s. The 90s, very, very important. So let's talk about you, actually. Let's talk about you. Like I said, I knew you many years as one of the big brothers in town, organists, accompanists in Lagos. I have also noticed how you have changed and transformed from one stage in this level to the other. I think that's a very positive progression, and congratulations on that. So, can you tell us about your work with an experience with City Choral?
Wow. Well, I joined City Choral, like I said, in 2005, and the first rehearsal I attended, really challenged me. I'm not sure they performed that work. It was Chandu's anthem.
Chandos anthem.
Yes, Chandu's anthem. I can't remember the number, but it's the popular one. Oh, praise the Lord. So that day, I think that was the first day I just sneaked into the rehearsal. Not officially. So, and then there was nobody to play. So they just brought the book they shared. So me, I just felt they were rehearsing, hoping that in the course of they will stop. You know that when they give me that book, I had to start play from the beginning to the end. Because the choir did not, there was no need to stop.
Of course.
And immediately after the first chorus, Augustin was up for the next solo. I had to play. So after the rehearsal, I now talk to myself, wow, there are levels to these things. I saw, being a church organist and playing for groups, there are two different things.
Definitely.
There are two different things. So that one went. So that same year, City Choral was to perform Judas Maccabeus. So then I came in fully
Yes, 2005, right?
Yes, 2005.
2005, yeah.
Then that year too, I was preparing St. Stephen's Choir for the Andel's Messiah.
Okay.
So it was just a day apart. That one was on Saturday. Then the Messiah
was on Sunday.
So which means I did 2 oratorios
in 2 days.
Less than in 2 days. So when I joined City Choral, I met the level of musicianship was very high. In fact, the basses were always sitting beside me. These are voices that can shake this place. Then the tenor, I can remember, in fact, maybe I need to mention names. Then when I joined the choir, I had, I still had Stanley Okoli.
Yeah.
Stanley Okoli, Nelson Cole, who were in the choir then, in tenor. I had, I think, Nosogu, had a lot of greats. Andrew Ebuchem.
Yes, Andrew
Alto.
Yeah.
Many great singers. I used to have Vivian Ogo, Priska. The late Priska. Priska. Then I used to have many names, So when I joined City Choral, I met another dimension of singing and another dimension of choral expertise. You know, what you find in church is not what you find in this place. You know, it's much more bigger than what you find in churches. So, and I took my time to study, to learn, to prepare choirs for, concerts, then teaching too, then accompaniment, then playing. And now realize that playing in church, playing for groups, they are two different things. And that's why sometimes being a great organist might not necessarily translate to be a good accompanist.
Of course, we are going to that phase.
Yes.
Of course.
You understand? So these are some of the things that I found in City Choral, and then the volume of works we were doing in City Choral. City Choral is a choral group.
Yeah.
Then I realized that as you must be versed in normal hymns, anthems, then the indigenous. City Choral was a group that was able to fill that void. You come to sing hymns, you sing anthems, then the Nigerian choral music, either secular, sacred. So a lot of the repertoires I have today, I learned in City Choral. I learned in City Choral because I remember then, those years, we had a lot of great composition. Yaki Toro, we had then we did a lot of Sam Ojuku's works, and we had Sam Ojuku. Then even all these, some of these TK Phillips works. Then what's the name of this? Was he Akiuba? Yes. No. We did Ayo Bankole, of course. We did Ayo Bankole. We did at the time. We did the Rishabi of so many works. Then the one Ori of wow, that song was jaw breaking. Ori of a lot of modal counterpoint, going on in that piece. And City Choral is a group that has really helped the culture of music, serious music in this part of the world. Because there's no way you can talk about City Choral, you talk about music, either vocal, instrumental, because sometimes the group performs big work.
Yeah.
When the choir was 35, about 3 years ago, we did the season together. I went back, we did seasons by Joseph Hayden. We did season. At the time, we did creation, I think about 7 or 8 years ago. We done a lot of works together. But the experience in City Choral cannot be quantified. Because at the time also started preparing for international competition.
In fact, that's where I'm just about to go to right now. So you've traveled with City Choral on a few occasions for World Choir Game. So what was this experience for you as an accompanist, as a musician, as a scholar?
Wow, it was a lifetime experience. One, you are singing, you are competing with other choirs outside Nigeria. So you learn different kinds of music, you learn different kinds of choirs. In fact, it was from World Choir Games I discovered that you can have a pure gospel choir.
Yeah.
They have different categories of choirs.
Choir performance, yeah.
You have mixed choir. You can have sacred mixed choir. You can have secular, whatever, different. You can have folklore, different kind of choirs, and they are able to accommodate every kind of performance. So at the World Choir Games, rather, it was an experience that one will continue to live with, and it was an experience that reshaped my perspective about music entirely.
How?
Now, when we got there, the first or second night we got there, the following morning we woke up and we saw a choir rehearsing as early as 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
Yes, we were already warming up. Man, I said, so this is how serious this music is. Then, I remember Samika came to knock at our door, warn anybody. You guys are still sleeping. We are here for serious business. Then it dawned on me that, I remember there was one. Then also, I realized that the way they perceive choral music in those civilized countries quite different.
Definitely.
Even in South Africa will come it as much as 100-man choir for World Choir Games. Then you think about the logistic. Who pays for them? The logistic of bringing them, the hotel and every other thing. It means, choral music is very, very important, It's an aspect of education that should not be toyed with. But unfortunately, in this part of the world, that's why we will continue to give kudos to people like Samika Mokedi, because through his selfless effort, he has been able to bring Nigerian choral music to the world. Because nobody will have had the courage to do that, because the cost is very expensive. Very expensive. Then we thank God for Dr. Olukoya by taking the mountaintop choir. Because when I look at the choir, the first question I asked was, how many were they? When I saw almost 30 man on choir, already I was doing calculation.
Wow.
Yes. I was doing the calculation of bringing 30-man choir. I know what it was, because I have traveled before and I know what
the logistics and everything.
I know everything, in total. So immediately I saw mountaintop choir, I gave kudos to Dr. Olukoya.
Wow.
Because I wish many other people, organizations can really support this kind of music like that, and by also going for those events, you learn a lot of things, you get new materials, you meet new friends, you are exposed, you meet new friends, then you get more materials, and if you check now online, there are a lot of choirs, there are a lot of Western choirs singing Nigerian songs.
Definitely.
I remember one choir, perform Amuwora Yotunwa. Onina Amuwora Yotunwa. Yes. Then also, for those who are also going to study abroad, somehow they're also taking our,
of course,
songs over there. Now, these are part of the things, our works, both choral, instrumental, organ, they're also taking it there.
Yeah.
You understand? So, but for me, traveling with City Choral, at least I was at the World Choir Games in America. Then the first European Choir Games, we were also part of City Choral.
Austria.
Then in Austria, Graz, Austria, And one of the things I also learned about, those competitions is, one, they don't joke with time. Now, I'll give you an experience. We moved from Graz to perform in a neighboring town, and we travel by train. So I think the journey is about 2 hours. And when we got there, in the train, you won't even know you are traveling. Very pleasant trip, they serve you coffee, you take, very smooth ride. So when we got there, the concert was, we are the only one from Africa. There were about 5 or 6 choirs from different continents. We are the only one from Africa, one from Europe. Then there was another one from Australia. We brought one choir from Australia, 2 other choirs, or 3 other choirs. So we got there around 5:40 local time. So immediately we got there, we were led into the hall where we're going to have the concert. And we quickly do sound check, where we're going. We took our position and we got there. So we were just there for like 8 minutes. So 8:40, we left 8:48. All of us, we had to go and change immediately. And nobody was in the hall. No single person. You don't understand what I'm saying? No single person was in the hall. By the time we came back, 12 minutes later, that same hall was filled up. I'm still trying to come to terms with that kind of experience. Within 12 minutes, the hall could sit at least 400 or 500 people. And it was already filled up. Everybody was seated. So I was not wondering, did they go to call them from their homes or what? Or how did they arrive at this? So which means they don't joke with timing. Then the level of discipline. It's 6 o'clock. I remember when we went to worship in a German church. Obviously, a lot of us, but we could relate with the service because it's an Orthodox service.
Yeah.
But one thing I learned from that service is the level of attention of the congregation.
Of course.
It's just like you're saying, "The Lord be with you." Everybody respond. It's like it's rehearsed.
Yeah.
Everything is synchronized. You won't hear one voice dragging. So I saw the level of organization. I think is part of their life over there.
Definitely.
Both music, anything they are doing, So for me, the experience, City Choral, is something I will continue to live with. Seeing choirs from abroad, hear different choirs, hear different conducting techniques, different singing techniques, is something. Then different. You also hear choirs come with their own accompanist, and then you listen to also different genres of music, where you have gospel, contemporary gospel choir, and to hear the voices as music very, and you also see their scores with all the complex rhythms, So it was a lifetime experience for me.
Wow, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing with us. One thing I also want to say, particularly regarding the Nigerian choir traveling abroad, experiences, the movement of ideas. I think, yes, now Nigeria is going through a lot now, and we only have few people doing that. And I'm glad you mentioned DKO, Dr. Professor Lokoya. So the point is, I think even if from this until 1970s or 80s, Nigerian choir were actually traveling abroad with full contingent people. I used to say my Yobankole, Akinuba, even before them, as far back as 40s, 1930s, Nigerian choirs were traveling with big, up to 40, 50 people for tour in Europe. I have where there are documentations of this, even pictures of choirs.
I think, yes, I remember when I was when I was praying for my master's, I went to see late Mr. Ebenezer Omoli.
Okay.
Then he was living, at the time, he was living...
Number 2, Adeni close.
Yes, at
Kayode.
Off Kayode Street.
Off Kayode Street.
No, I was also there too, those early 2000,
Okay.
Then, internet was not really common then.
Yes.
So if you need materials, a lot of us will go to his house, we'll get books on composition, hymns. You are looking for hymn tune, you go to his house. Then if you are looking for audio materials, if you go to that house, you see a lot of albums.
Yeah.
You can see one part of the place, you see albums on symphonies.
Yes.
You go there, you see albums on organ alone.
Yeah.
So anytime we needed material at that time, we would go to Adeni close. So then later, Baba moved to this area. What's it called?
Just beside us here.
Not too far from here. So then I went to meet him there. Then when I went to meet him, in fact, we had a discussion just like this. And he brought all the pictures of when Professor Las Ekweme traveled with some, I can't remember, I don't know the name of the choir then, maybe Nigerian choir, or I don't know what they called it then. They traveled to, I think, America, the one for one black event, I can't remember, but he showed me some of the pictures. In fact, our director, Samika Mokedit, was in the picture. Was in the picture, so I saw it. Then what actually led to it was, we are talking about Nigeria, that the value of naira has depreciated so much that in 1981 when they traveled, that the total cost of traveling there was 1,500 naira. I was like, 1,500. He said, in fact, he still had change, some balance, some parts of the money when he was coming back to Nigeria. Then he said, of course, I've heard that people, players traveled in as early as those years. So, like I said, when I met Mr. Omole, told me about the trip, and in fact, he showed me the program note of the concert they had there, all the songs they sang, they sang some of his Professor Las Ekweme's works, they sang it there, and it was a very great experience, having choirs travel abroad there.
Definitely. Yeah, too. Thank you so much. Of course, for those who want to do research, you can come after Mr. Alaba. He has all the information and the experiences, particularly if you are working on choral music and other things. Of course, you can. He's a scholar himself, so I'm happy to let you know about that, so you won't have problem engaging him. Okay, so now the next question I want to ask, there's one other. Okay, you've been the organist and choirmaster of your church, the Holy Trinity Kate, for many years. You said it's 19 years at that time. Yeah, so that's a long one. You've been very consistent in this sense. This is different. This is a different trajectory compared to those of some of your contemporary or generation before and after you. What is clear is that people move 3 years, 4 years, change. So why have you remained with that church for so long? Is there anything we can learn from your perspective?
Well, what I believe is that if you leave a particular, the reason many people may be leaving might be because of remunerations.
Okay.
That's number one. Then number two, people may leave, musicians leave when probably during crisis. Maybe if there are crises and they cannot manage it, they will leave it. They will leave the environment and go elsewhere. But one thing I've always known is that there will always be crisis. So now, if you know that there will always be crisis.
Definitely.
So what we need to manage is how to manage. What we need to learn is how to manage crisis.
To manage crisis.
Because if you leave somewhere and you went somewhere else because of crisis, there are every possibility that you still go and face the same crisis.
Challenge. That's right. So if it's not resolved here, you meet it there.
Unless you don't want to work in church or religious settings again. Then two, if you decide, for example, now, let me use the Anglican setting as an example. Now, for example, you are in Lagos now, you leave an Anglican parish because of the priest. There are especially when you are in the same diocese, there are every likelihood that you might still meet that priest again.
Definitely.
If you are in that diocese.
Definitely.
Or something may just still bring you together again.
Definitely.
You understand? Then also, if you my own perspective about life is, one, consistency is very important. It's very important. Then also sometimes when you want to get some serious appointment at times, some establishments may look at the number of years you are putting where you are coming from. Sometimes people, you see, I always tell people care to listen that the job of musician, either organist, choir master, choir director, is not something that should be changing all the time.
Oh, why?
The leadership, what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is not something that should be really changing all the time. Because, for example, if you're an employer, a choir master and organist now, in the next 2 years, you are shopping for another one. All those things. And sometimes when some personalities leave the job, the music suffers. These are realities.
Yeah.
It's either, most times the standard may drop, because the problem and the real issue is that in this part of the world, we don't look at succession. Succession is very important.
Sustainability.
Succession, when I mean by succession, is somebody taking over from another person. Now, somebody who has been running a choir for 10 years suddenly leaves the system. And somebody who is coming who doesn't understand the tradition of the choir will just come in. That may be a problem. There may be a problem. So these are some of the things we should always consider in this part of the world. For me, I don't even, in fact, one day I was saying jokingly that probably if I leave my church, I'll go and start a church. I was just joking. You understand what I'm saying? It's just to tell you that changing church for me is not really something that will excite me at this stage of my life. Unless, okay, if I want to, or unless I just want to go and do maybe training for choirs, I can decide to be a consultant. I come, I train you, or I give professional advice and I go my way. But now, I want to change church, go to another church, might not be something really I want to do. So for me, I believe in consistency, because when through consistency, you can grow the choir, you can grow the music of that, you can understand the worship system of that place, you understand, and you must also build something that will make you different, unique. By doing something regular, it's just like when you're talking about choral music in Nigeria. There's no way you don't mention Emeka Mokedi now. You understand? It has become a household name. And now, taking you back to City Choral celebrated 38 years of consistency. You understand? 38 unbroken. 38 years. So now, when, for example, big organizations, they are looking for a choral group to perform, they will look for probably, and for example, the people who are heading the company are like in their 70s, 80s. So if you deduct 38 years from maybe 80, that will give you like 40 something years. Maybe that person who is 42 then had known that group for that long, for consistency. When that kind of person, that man who is 80 years, wants to recommend, is most likely going to recommend the one.
History. This one has history.
History, you understand? The Yoruba people say abereto lokundi, you can trace it. You understand? A needle that has thread, you can trace it, you can easily look for it. The one that doesn't have thread, you'll be struggling to pick it from the ground.
That's
true. You understand? So when you stay somewhere a while, you build the music there, build the people there. Then not only music, you also build people in terms of their perception of life. Make them know that life is not easy. Because one of the challenges I found in this age is that young people tend to easily back out at times because of little challenges. It's not easy. It's not rosy anywhere. And you have to build it in people, This life, everything about life is going round, you know. Whatever we look at that channel: school, church, home. So these three things, they make the society or the community, let's say the community, then the society at large. So when people have the right, you know, attitude from home, from school, from church, then you are building a nation. You understand? So for me, I don't believe in jumping from there. Then me personally, I also believe that you can make money outside the church. It doesn't have to be church. It doesn't have to be church. There are so many things to be done outside that can bring money. So that has always been my own perspective.
But what's your take on payments?
Yes, people should be paid well. Should be paid well. I'm not against paying people well. People should be paid very well. If it takes paying people well for them to remain, pay them well. At least I will always mention pastors like Dr. E. Olukoya. I know that there is a way he encourages, you know, musicians. Sometimes it may not actually be, that payment may not be cash. But there are other ways of paying people. You can pay them, they go abroad, they go for training. You understand? You can give them, provide accommodation for them. You know, when people have the basic things, when musicians have the basic things,
they can focus, even concentrate, and relax to do the job.
Relax to do the job. Not the one, how do I pay my house rent? Somebody who is already writing is about to finish a composition and the landlord comes to knock. Distracted. The music idea will be suspended.
That's true.
You understand? So that's why I like some of our pastors who are really doing well. I also mentioned Pastor, this man that conducts experience every year.
Okay.
Adefarasi, you know, they have the way they encourage musicians, you know, and those are the things we need, you know. Those are the things that will make. There was a time Pastor Nathaniel Bassi was sharing experience with his late pastor then, Esco.
Pastor Esco, yeah.
Yes, Pastor Esco was at City of
David, yeah.
Pastor Esco told him to, look, calm down, stay here, we'll take care of you. And that was why Pastor Nathaniel Bassi now was able to stay there, build himself, build his style of worship. And he is today, you know. So sometimes people just need the basic things. I don't blame people I'm not saying that people should not move. If there is need for them to move, they should move.
Yeah.
We should move. If you get a better offer, move. But I'm just trying to call maybe church leaders, church authorities to take care of your musicians. Keep them, make them happy. And also the musicians too, when you have been taking care, you to deliver.
Okay, that's an interesting one. When you have been taking care of you, please deliver. Okay, wow, those are strong points. Anyway,
deliver.
Yeah, and that's true. Yeah, when you deliver, you motivate your principal. Yeah, to do more. Okay, that's good. I love that. I think that's a good philosophy. Anyway, so yeah, but there's something from your side now. You now have a choral. You have a group for yourself.
Yes. Now.
So you manage and directed one of the visible choral groupings. So tell us about your choir. Yeah, and why the motivation to start something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I never had mind of starting a choral group because I believe there are choral groups around. So why do I? But along the line, I just found the need to create platform for young people. It's actually for young people. Yes, that's why if you check some of the videos of the group, you see that there are young people. Some of them are in secondary school.
Wow.
So the reason why because I sat with some of my friends, not friends, they are younger than myself. So now I sat there and said, look, let's create a group whereby young people who may not have opportunity of singing in city choral,
yeah,
singing in Muslim choir, singing in last chorus. They may not have opportunity in singing in big chorus. Let's just
Create something for
create something for them. Sometimes I fund the group. Yes. I buy costumes for them.
Wow.
You understand? Because if I have young people who are 15, 16, and I want them to stay in the choir, will I start disturbing them? Go and
bring money, bring
wow. The level of the economic whatever in Nigeria, so just provide the basic things for them. I remember when I actually started, there was this lady called Temilolu Okewu. She's one of these that talks about the girl child, It's on Facebook, you can check. Temilolu, she's very fair in complexion. So she called me. She said, I've seen your video, you have young choir. Said, I need your young girls with some of them. And yes, and she said, okay, I will buy their costumes, but you sew for them. I said, no problem. Yellow costume, that was 2014.
Wow.
You understand? They still have it up to today. So
when you started the choir, actually, when?
Yes, the choir had always been there. What I basically do then, what I was basically doing was then that some of these young people, when they come and do Christmas for me. I say, how many people would I do Christmas? If I have to do Christmas for everybody, I will go bankrupt. So you know what? Okay, you know what? Just be consistent. We'll start something. Or you go and sing for people at home, or sing when they want people to
do events, have programs. Yeah.
So then we'll take you there. Whatever they bring, you get. So that was actually it's just to actually encourage and also to develop the culture of choral music.
Yeah. Because
there should be choral music, there should be music everywhere. The only thing I have not really had opportunities if I have somewhere where if somebody can give me a building where I will just stock instruments there. Because some of my friends, okay, let's be doing training, even if they have to pay, they don't have to pay so much. You understand? It's part of the way of giving back to the society. You understand? We must also think of giving back to the society. Because if we don't also invest our time in this thing, it will fizzle.
Of course.
It will fizzle out. It will fizzle out. And because we are in such, it is what people see often that they get used to.
Yeah. Consistency.
It's what they see often that they get used to. And you know that choral music itself is not really something that is not popular. That's why we have popular music and
the other one.
Understand? These young people, they see more of. But thank God for social media now.
Yeah.
Thank God for social media now. So young people now, we just have to make them belong to that. Make them develop that choral culture. Make them have that choral culture.
Okay, I think there's another point there. Thank you so much. So you have experiences across board. Church choir.
Yes.
Professional commercial choir like city choir.
Yes.
And now your own brewing a community, so sustain a culture. So what's the difference between managing a church choir and a choral group? Is it the same approach?
Well, it's not the same approach. It's not the same approach. Because in church choirs, in a church choir, sometimes you are only left with those who are available to join the choir.
Okay.
You understand? It's like, let's say, a national team and the club side.
Okay.
In club side, you can buy player.
Okay.
In national team, you cannot buy player. The only way you can get a player, maybe they naturalize or they
switch nationality.
Now they switch their nationality.
Yeah.
Which is often a long process.
Yeah.
To buy a player, once two parties agree, I think that one is much easier than switching your nationality.
Wow.
You understand? So in church choir, it is people that are there. For example, now, if you are in a choir that you have a male, if it's a male choir, there are some songs you cannot do. There are some works you cannot do because it's a male choir. And if you say you want to add ladies, you are going against the tradition.
The tradition.
You understand? You are going against the tradition. So that's why sometimes when you are in church choir, you might just be limited in terms of scope of work. Because in terms of songs, you are limited.
Yeah.
You can't do something outside the religious test. I cannot come and sing Igbam Chikiri 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 in church. It's not possible.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Oh, thank God, Naganu's palm wine song inside church. It's not possible. So already church choir, there is a kind of limitations. You have to sing songs that are religious, religious test. Then it depends on the environment you are. If it's a strictly a very strict environment where you cannot even do some of your Nigerian choral works. There are some churches you go, they do basically English. You understand? You can't even introduce your own Messiah Babami or small Nigerian anthems to it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You don't have to mention settings here, no, but you try to understand what I'm saying.
Definitely.
You understand?
Definitely.
So those are the issue, and there are some other things you might want to do in church choirs that they will make not possible. For example, now you want to go for an event. I've seen churches that even if they are going anywhere, it's robe they wear.
Yes, that's true.
They wear robe. If you say, okay, let us song, they will tell you it's not their they don't
tradition.
Do that. It's not their tradition. You understand?
Yeah. I understand your point.
But in groups, then also in churches, you have to be careful about the issue of money. Because money can cause a lot of wahala.
Wow.
Okay, for example, now, if you are in a church choir now, and probably one of your patrons invite you to come and sing somewhere, and they want to pay, they will pay. If your choir has an account, they pay to you. Now, at the point of sharing, there may be problem. There may be problem because some people may see the need for sharing their money or vice versa.
Wow.
Some people may say, no, why do you have to share it?
Okay.
It's not a money sharing group.
Wow.
Now, let me tell you something. There was an incident that happened in a church. I won't mention the name, but what actually happened was that there was a wedding in that church and the church choir came. The church choir ordinarily only attend maybe all those extra, but because the man because the man was impressed with the turnout, he now said, okay, I'm giving, he now brought so amount of money to be, he gave it so that it to be shared among those that attended the event. Unfortunately, the man heard that they did not share it. The man did not shout. He now brought another money
to give them again.
He now wrote it on the envelope. Please to be distributed now the choir by those who are.
Yeah.
And the man followed up, made sure that it was shared. So, but in like the group I run, you know, I know that there are young people. If I take people out in December, I will give them something now. Why?
Definitely.
No matter how big or small it is. This is what they brought to. Okay, we'll keep this. Sometimes maybe we want to do some things. We'll keep some. Probably want to make photocopies. We want to do this. You know, we'll keep some. It's easier. We're going to share. But the church, there are limitations in church. In church, at times, if you might even not be one of the signatories to the account.
Wow.
That even makes it more difficult.
Wow.
Because those who are the signatories, if they say no, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, that's true.
There's nothing you can do.
Interesting.
But in groups, of course, everybody knows that it's a choral group, so at least they are coming for rehearsal. So it's not, people know when you go and invite a professional group or choral group,
you pay them, of course.
It's not free. It's not church choir.
It's not okay.
It's not church choir.
Wow, that makes sense actually, and I agree with you. Let's move to the last section, which is about you again. The organist, the accompanist, the big accolades. So for many years you've been in the Nigerian music market and international, particularly as a choral manager, as an accompanist and everything. I am so privileged also, accompany a major work with you. I remember at Vine in 2011, right? Solomon. I played the piano, you were playing the organ. Yeah. So this is a big thing. You've been in this business for many years, as we have also heard from you today. So then the question for me is there a connection between or is that the first thing I should ask? Okay, let's start from this. Is there a connection between your thinking as a professional accompanist and a church organist? I mean, what are the basic differences, if there are any, in both cases?
As a church organist, you have to accompany services. So as church organist, you are also expected to lead the
service.
To lead a service.
Yeah.
Now, as a church organist, first and foremost, aside knowing how to play,
you
must understand the seasons.
Yeah.
In of the church. For example, now in the Orthodox setting, we are in the season of Lent.
Yeah. Yeah, starting from today.
So
or tomorrow, yeah.
Playing during Lent is different from playing during Easter.
Yeah.
Because even the choice of hymn tunes must reflect the season.
The season. No noise, no.
The selection of hymns must reflect the season.
Yeah.
Then the mood of the tunes too must reflect the season. For example, during Lent, I won't play the tune Rock of Ages, slept for me. I won't play it. I'll use the other one. Rock of Ages, slept for me. That one seems to be more
sober. Yeah.
Now, during Lent, if I find hymns such as Jesus my Lord, or any hymn that has corresponding meter, I will use Jesus my Lord. I will look for another tune
that is more sober.
You understand? So you must understand the seasons and the music of the church. So once you understand this, accompanying will not be difficult. You understand? Then also, as a church organist, even if you have to select your voluntaries, select your organ works, it must reflect the season. For example, you want to start a service during Lent, you are playing does it reflect the season? You understand what I'm saying? Rather, you can just look for simple preludes. There are preludes that you can use that will capture that season. You understand? So as a church organist, you must understand the season, you must understand the music, then you must understand church setting. Because at times you might be functioning as a choir master and an organist.
Yeah.
You must understand the administrative part of the work.
Yeah.
You understand? Sometimes your priest may send songs to you, you put the tunes. That's part of administration.
Definitely.
You understand? Then sometimes the priest may send a program for you to help edit. For example, the Psalms, you might have to edit it.
Yeah.
You understand? All those kind of things. Sometimes you might have a special service. The priest may want your input. So, okay, can we
use this music?
The psalm for this?
Yeah.
So you must understand it. Then you must understand the administrative part of the church organist work. It's not only about playing.
Definitely.
You must understand how to manage people. because people come to choir with diverse reasons.
Definitely.
So you must know how to manage them. Then, you know, in the orthodox setting, you have different age brackets.
Yeah.
You can have a choir boy, you can have ladies, you can have old women, you can, in some places, only boys.
Yeah.
In some places, only ladies and men and male.
Yeah.
In some places, strictly male, just like I said before. So you must understand
the variations and
variations.
Yeah.
Then when you understand, you'll be able to. Then you must also learn how to also manage the priest, because sometimes the priest may not do what you want or may not be agreeing with you all the times. But you just find a way
To
manage. That's why I said, if you leave your church now because of little disagreement, you still going somewhere, there will be disagreement there. So you now, and by the time you start changing, the people will now call you names. It's just like when in our local parlance, when you start changing, you know, wife or husband, people will now start saying, no, he's the one that has fault.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, but when you are when you are an accompanist, you are doing much work, because one, the songs that you are doing are not always hymns. You are doing bigger anthems. You are doing, and most of the time, when you are accompanying choral groups, what they use is keyboard. You may not have access to organ.
Definitely.
Either keyboard or probably piano. For example, if you are going to events, most of the time, what you find available is keyboard.
Definitely.
So you must also learn how to manage the keyboard. You cannot design not to perform well because you don't have an organ. You must going to listen to that.
Definitely.
Excuse. So whatever they have. One day somebody posted something on Facebook, and I said, look, whatever instrument you make, just make sure you make good music out of it. That's most important. Yes, we know that, okay, we know when organ is sounding, we know when piano is sounding, but at least if the church has been able to provide the instrument, or you go for an event, you must be able to provide, to produce good music with it. So when you are playing as an accompanist, you are doing bigger works. You are doing bigger works. And you should realize that the onus of the accompaniment lies on you. For example, if you are doing major choruses from an oratorio and there is no orchestra, you cannot afford to fail.
Yeah.
Because if you fail, you throw the choir off balance. You understand? And your notes must be accurate, your speed, because now you are being conducted. So you must be able to follow the choir, must be able to follow the conductor. Oftentimes in church, you may not conduct. Most choirs or most churches, they don't conduct their hymns, except few places like those cathedrals.
Cathedrals, yeah.
You understand? But for choral groups, you have a director. You have a director who is directing, and you must be able to, your level of proficiency in choral groups must be higher than that of church.
Definitely.
It must be higher than church.
Wow.
That is why if you, as an organist, choral director, it's a very good thing to always have that experience of choral groups.
Choral groups. Wow, that's true.
It's always very important. There's a way it shapes one's
practice. And professionalism.
Yeah.
I agree with you, definitely. And thanks for providing insight. So I have two questions in one. Then after this, we'll do one more. Then we'll open for our friends to briefly engage. Then we'll close for the day. So this is 3-in-1. You have accompanied many works, Then what's your approach? What are your approaches to, accompaniment? That's number one. Then as an organist, do you have any approaches to hymns playing and accompaniment in church? Then the third one, who brings them together? Do you belong to or align with any school of thought or practice in terms of approaches to organ playing?
Well, as an organist, like I said, you are accompanying a church service. The most important thing for you to learn is how to make people flow with the music. Then two, when you are introducing your hymn tune, it must be clear. It must be clear because there are hymns that look similar, two hymns that may sound similar. So that is why it is often advisable to introduce as unison. Let it be clear.
Let them
hear. So that even somebody that is sleeping, when he wakes up, he knows that you are playing so tune.
Yeah.
You understand? Then number two, you should also have trained your choir that for every stanza of hymn, let it be sung in unison. In my church,
every stanza,
except when you have few verses, 3 stanzas or 2 stanzas. But once it's 4, the first stanza must be unison. They know that, and every last stanza must also be unison, so that it will give room for embellishment, for extemporization on the organ. You know, it's not a good thing to choir singing harmony, then you are doing
improvisation.
It doesn't make sense. Then you build up your stops from the beginning. You know, build up your stops then know when to use the pedal. You know, oftentimes when you are introducing your hymn, there's no need for pedal. Just use your any of your
manuals
and introduce the hymn. Then know the right stops too. Just like we are in the season of Lent now. I don't expect that you put trumpet, bombarding. You understand?
Yeah.
So you know the right stuff to use, and you know it will bring the season out. You know, avoid the mixtures for now. In fact, at Cathedral Marina during Lent, the trumpeters they go on sabbatical holiday.
Wow.
Yes. Until Palm Sunday. You know, Palm Sunday is
brighter. Yes, brighter, definitely.
Yeah, so, but for the next 4 Sundays in Lent or 5, you only hear trumpet.
No trumpet. Wow.
You only hear trumpet. You understand? Then you ask another question.
Do you belong to or align with any school of thought or practice in terms of hymn? I'm asking this because, you know, there's a culture which is not registered, but it's also a culture.
What's the culture?
So, of course, is there out there when I come to your church and you are playing, but at the last verse, there's an expectation, like what you said now. So people want to, but particularly for organists, they want to see how you want to play the last verse. Yeah. So do you belong to this kind of thinking, or let's say a school of thought, or how things should be done?
Yes, you know, there should be how things should be done. Just like I said, that for each verse. In fact, I conducted the wedding on Saturday. You know, some of the things I have learned from these white people is that, especially during their recordings, not conventional singing, what they do is that sometimes they leave one of these verses to be sung a cappella.
Yes.
You know, you understand what I'm saying? So it's just a kind of way of variation to create, so that it won't sound monotonous.
Yeah.
You know, so that, you know, first verse, unison. Sometimes if I'm conducting during the communion and I have 6 stanza hymn, like the King of Love, my shepherd is, I can say, okay, first stanza unison, second stanza harmony, third stanza female voices, fourth stanza male voices, fifth stanza you can now do a cappella. Then last stanza, if there is descant, the choir sings the descant with fuller organ accompaniment, but you will have to be careful of doing so much embellishment, because there's a descant.
Okay.
And the descant, you know, goes according to the set harmony. So, but when you are now playing, when the choir is singing unison, fine, you do embellishment, but the embellishment has to be within the confine
of the music,
because
the chord changes need to be considered. Okay,
hook will spoil the growth.
Of course.
So you still have to be, you know, within that confine. You know, sometimes even the white people, the white organists, they don't do embellishment. What you just hear is they will bring out more stops, you know, add 32, make it
Stronger and sicker.
and you know that it's last stanza.
Yeah,
You understand? So that's my own school of thought.
Wow, that's cool. That's great. That's great. Well, we can hear this. So the last one, how do you see yourself, I mean, in your position in the development of organ or choral music in Nigeria? And let me add one. What aspect of the organ and choral music culture you think needs to be sustained, particularly or promoted in Nigeria, in Nigerian choral music, I think in the coming years?
Yeah, you see, the aspect of you see, organ and choral should go together in this part of the world. You know why I say that? I've discovered that each time we try to organize recitals, we don't get much people to attend.
Wow.
We don't get much people because for me, we have not really got to that level of appreciation
for organ and choral music.
No. I said strictly organ music.
Organ music, okay.
We have not really got to that level. Because I remember when we were to celebrate Baba Omole,
okay,
we're talking about different activities. Then I had to come up with organ and choral night. We have to merge it. That attracted more people.
Okay.
But if we had to be strictly organ, already the singers or choristers will not be, we won't see them as part of that. They will not see themselves as part of that program.
Wow.
Organists.
You
understand? That's our
mentality.
In this part of the world. So sometimes each time we want to have reciters, I always advise that we mix with choral music. Probably you can put one hymn tune that people can sing
along, just to carry people along.
And because African audience likes participation.
Definitely.
African audience likes participation. Abroad, the white people may just sit down for 2 hours. They are listening to string quartet performing, and they won't blink an eye. But here, if you try that here, I can assure you that people will be sleeping.
You sleep.
They'll sleep. Because we are used to loud, you understand. For me, I will appreciate it, but sometimes as musicians too, when we are planning the concert, we should know that we are not planning for ourselves alone.
Definitely.
You understand? No, we are not planning for ourselves alone. So you must also think of your audience.
The receiver.
Think of your audience.
Yeah.
So if as an organist or choral director, you should know sometimes what your audience like. You should know what your congregation, your audience, what they like. For example, you are organizing an organ program. Put some hymn tunes that people like generally. That even somebody who is in Aladura, we
relate.
We relate to it.
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And this is one of the issues we normally have at sometimes during choir festivals. The choir will learn, because it's choir festival, they will learn new tunes. At the end of the day, the audience that you are performing for, they have their handsets with them. Once they cannot relate with they are pressing their phones.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, but when you put hymns that they too can shine and sing this kind.
Yeah.
They say, oh, the concert was, you understand? But immediately the people cannot relate. It's either they are with their friends gisting or pressing phones. When you finish performing, they clap for you.
Wow.
They wait for another one. But when you put things that they can relate with
and carry them along in the process. Fine. Wow.
So now, even when we are doing, like I said, when we are having a recital, put some of these things in. Yes, if it's a white land, in a white man's environment, why not? We have organ recital throughout.
Wow.
Do back work, do this work, choose from different periods. You understand? But because we are Africans, we cannot deny it. We cannot. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. you want to come and play back work for 1 hour in this part of the world.
Well,
Me, I will appreciate it.
of course.
But the people that are coming, you also have to think of those that might also want to sponsor. Because once people don't see
Connection
in what you are doing, they will not sponsor. You will call them, they will not even pick your phone.
Wow. Dear friends and colleagues, it's been an interesting journey with Mr. Alaba today, Akinselure. Yeah. So I think that should be a kind of advice for emerging, contemporary, and perhaps upcoming organists in your programming, in what you do. We've seen a lot of wisdom today in terms of how you connect, the issues of value, relevance, and how you sustain yourself. There's a lot of wisdom in this particular conversation, particularly something very, very close to how to develop in this profession, So definitely this recording will be online on our YouTube page. Please kindly connect and follow. It will be uploaded anytime soon. But right now we want to open for a while. I know you have question for Mr. Akinselure. I know you've been listening to him. There might be things you want to ask. Please, we have a few slots, perhaps 5, 3, or 4. So let's see your hand and we'll call on you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make it brief. Let's make it brief. Yeah, we are already running out of time, but we can still entertain a few questions. Thank you so much. Okay, we have one already. We have 2. Okay, let's start quickly. I can see Mr. Wande. Mr. Wande, it's good to see you again. Thank you very much. Thank you. So you are welcome, please, Mr. Wande. Okay, kindly unmute yourself, sir.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Hello, Maestro Alaba. Nice seeing you today.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot from you and I've learned a lot from you. I want to see, with your trajectory and over about 20 to something years of music, where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years? Vision 2030. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years? I just want to say.
Well, thank you so much. Well, in the next 5, 10 years, I want to see myself, taking music out of Nigeria, go abroad to showcase Nigeria. Either it could be relocation, it could be through going out to have concerts and so on. Then, in the nearest future too, I also plan to have an academy where we can bring in people. We can also, share all our ideas with the younger generation, because with these, they will be able to continue from where we may stop when we have left. So I want to see myself, having at least look at places like Muzon. The ideas of what's the name of this Baba Akintola Williams. Their ideas, their visions are still here, and so that's the kind of vision I have, where we can leave a legacy for people through learning, mentorship, and so many other things like that. So that's my vision.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Wande. Mr. Adegboyega Oshota.
Good afternoon. I just want to ask, in your years of experience as a church organist, working before your present place and till now, how can you advise the young organists and choir masters, the upcoming young organists and choir masters, how can they manage their work between themselves and their priest, who are their principal? Because more often we know that the young ones now, they don't have that patience of working with the clergy. So, what are your advice to them that how they can be patient and they can sustain their years of working relationship in a particular church? Thank you very much.
Okay, yes, this is a very good question. I remember during the reception of Baba Omole's funeral, I had a discussion with Mr. Sunday Yusuf. We're talking about the act of relating with people, choir, even priests. You see, once you are coming in as a musician, the first thing you need to do is you have to be friendly. It doesn't mean you're going to be over friendly, but be friendly and be amiable. Because how do you manage priests? Yes, the priest, you have to first recognize that you are working with a priest. The priest is your boss. Then, if you have to let him know some certain things, there is a way to put it before him. Let him know. There are small ways of educating our priests. They are not musicians. We are the ones. Sometimes you can just suggest. And also, anytime you want something, keep saying it. Keep saying it. After a while, you say, what this boy is saying, let me even give it a try. You must be patient, because if you say you want to react based on the way they come up with issues at times, you might just want to go haywire and it will spoil the whole thing. But even aside from managing priests, even your choristers, see them as your people. I once told the choirmaster, I said, you don't have to see your choristers or your choir members, you don't have to see them from a competitive angle. You're not competing with them, you are their teacher. If there are ways of correcting them. There are ways of correcting people. Don't make them, and also when there are issues, be careful, especially when it has to do with choir, because the office of the clergy is choir. So there is no way, sometimes when choirs has issues, they won't get to the priest. And if you are not careful, the priest sometimes may use that to react to you. So as you are learning how to deal with the priest, how to manage the priest, must also learn to manage the choir. You understand what I'm saying? So that you can, when you talk, sometimes my vicar may say, I want this, I allow. So that when I also want something, you will allow. You don't understand?
Yeah.
From a political perspective.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Dr. Omoso.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon, Dr. Ayo and Mr. Alaba. And
Yes.
this section, I really enjoyed it. My question goes to Mr. Alaba.
Yes.
I've heard and I've seen that in your choir, most of the people in your choir are young ladies and also men. But I find out that someone told me that anybody that is married is no more allowed to be in the choir. And I don't know how truthful it is, but I can hear that from you. And I now look at it that as one when one's voice become matured with age, not only with yes, the young ones have agility, they have more strength and vigor, but voice also matured with age. And if you are sidelining the married women because they are married, maybe because of activities, their family, there are some women that can also juggle those things. So if you outline, I don't know why, and I just want to know why, because you're also killing maybe the vision of women that are married in the choir, that wants to be in the choir because they are married, you sideline them. So what do you have to say in that? Thank you.
Wow, it's a very tough one. But the thing is that every organization has their Don't let me say policy, customs or tradition. Now, something led to not having the married ones in the choir. Something, I may not want to say that one on air. Something led to it. And it has been like, I met it like that. In fact, when I was at the point of coming in, they brought it before me and they told me that it's not something that I should leave it for now, you know. And also, I've also suggested sometimes way back that we can also create another, in MFM, they have different choirs now, for adult, for, okay, if it's that case, let's create another, let's create a choir for them where they can still use their talent. Because the people who made that policy then, they might be scared that, okay, of so, they might have so reasons, and it might be out of fear or some issues, you know. So that's why they did like that. But I know that at a time in that church, they created a choir for them. But I don't know what happened. Maybe it fizzled out. So that's all I can say. It's something totally beyond me. If it's something I can handle, I could have handled it all this while, you know.
Wow. Thank you so much. So do we have other questions? We would like to take one.
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry, I couldn't raise my hand.
Please, Professor. Yes, please, kindly.
Thank you. My name is Adelu Okwade. Let me quickly congratulate Mr. Alaba Akinselure. Martin Luther says, after theology, I accord music the greatest and highest honor. You have made us proud by staying in church for 19 years. I was so glad when I heard that, because there are a lot of church musicians that we do not know about just because they couldn't stay in a place, jumping from one place to the other. You cannot be a musician, modern musician or master musician in a secret court without being an initiate first. You cannot be. You cannot be the chief drummer for the Shango worshippers if you are not one. So they must abide. So where I'm going is that you have to also be part of that system you are playing for. There's been an initiate in the Christendom to be able to get stabilized in that church. That's what I'm trying. I don't want to be a bit academic now. And you have demonstrated that you understood well before you went into that. Congratulations for that. But mine is not to just to compliment what you have said. And I think I should also congratulate you for having good friends around you. You mentioned two names that I think I'm also proud of. You mentioned the Abayomi Ludire. He's my assistant music director here in the US. And exactly the way you have described him is what he projects here. Same with Larry Mogaji. We work together here in the US too. So I just want to please tell that, please keep up the good work that you are doing. You are representing us well. At times you don't have good images before the church, before the priest. They may have their own problem too. But you hit it right on the neck that, look here, these are our principals when you are praying in the church. The priest is your principal. You are the one to learn how to deal with him. And you bring good things on the table for them. They always appreciate it. So please keep on doing the good work. Mr. Wade asked a very good question. I will tell you that the second one you mentioned, put all your energy on it to have an academy.
Okay. Not to
and God will bless you. No, you can japa. No, you can japa if you want to japa, but to bring Nigerian music, there are a lot of Nigerian music if you are very concerned with what happens on social media. The convener of this program is one of them, the outside, Mr. Dr. Ayorinde. So Nigerian music space is quite recognized. African music space is quite recognized. We want to come and add to it. So I said, if you want to do one thing that is okay, let me establish this. That academy is good. You want to contribute what is happening here? Well, it's also good. It's also good. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you so much. So can we take one more question and we close for the day quickly?
Sorry, contribution. Just a short contribution. A short one.
Okay, fine.
Yes,
Good.
I sing in a professional choir in the UK. It's All Saints Church, Leighton Buzzard. When I got there, I noticed that the sopranos are only girls between 5 and 18. Once you are 19 like this, you have to sing mezzo soprano or alto, or even anything beyond that. So I was going to marry that to the one you were talking about, married women singing in the choir. I don't know whether it relates to it, but I don't know. Once you are 18 in the professional choir I sing in All Saints, you can check it on YouTube with the stream our services. All Saints Leighton Buzzard. Once you are 18, you stop singing in the soprano line. You move to alto or mezzo soprano. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wande. Thank you so much. Yeah, today it has been an interesting journey so far with Mr. Alaba Akinselure. Yeah, of course, you've heard from him directly. Yeah, and we are so happy and proud, to share his story, and thank you for coming to our organ house. Thank you so much. Yeah. We have great people in Nigeria. I must be, like we've seen today, we have great people, we have great thinkers, creative musician, and very, 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 very good, musician with experiences here. Like we said, things will definitely get better if we start taking conscious effort like this to reach out to people like this and spotlighting, bringing them. Of course, they are busy. They don't really, but let's bring them and celebrate them for who they are. We've had some fantastic set of names today and many that we can't even mention today. So I promise you, we are going to bring each of these names. We are going to go after them right now as part of this. Of course, we've had many of them on this place, and many of them are part of this community. The Ayo Ajayi, the Tosin Ajayi, of course, Jola Dioshin is part of this community, and of course, we are now going to bring them. In fact, before now, we had plans. We have plans on the pipeline to bring all of them. Then we are going to do that. But what's important is that we are happy to hear from you, and thanks for everything you have done, and we are looking forward to that your 10 years plan. Yeah, well, Professor, yeah, I don't think you should encourage him to jump out. We need yeah, we need people, yeah, we need people, of course. Yeah, we need people to hold things and keep promoting, because we need people to keep creating professionalism to sustain things. Yeah, it's good to jackpot also, but I'm just thinking loud anyway. I know you have the answer. People have the answers personally. So thank you so much for coming today, sir.
You're welcome.
We really, really appreciate your kindness and sharing your story, sharing your journey with us today. And also online, I've seen some great people. You don't want to hear something I want to say right now. I have my big uncle on that place now. One of my big ones, Paul Awoyemi is there. So I'm going to definitely call you today, definitely. So thank you so much for everything. You know Paul Awoyemi?
Yeah, of course. He played at my wife festival last year. We worked together very well.
Yeah.
So these are some of the names I forgot.
We
worked together. At least he accompanied me like 3 times or 4 times last year.
Wow.
Then we've always done a lot of things together at Ulcers.
Yeah.
Mr. Dayo too.
Oluwole, Emmanuel,
Dayo, Adeniji, yes.
Yeah.
Good people.
Wow. So, in case you don't know, that's the place where I came from. These are the people that put my hand on small wood, all those things. Wow. The small one. And there's one again, the one that plays House on the Rock now.
Mr. Enogbenga now. What's the name of?
Yeah.
Ezekiel.
Yeah. So that corner, that generation, Agege, Kejas, Yeah. So thank you so much.
You know Mr. Bangbaye?
Definitely. Yeah, that's where Bola Jomotare, when it came to that, as was very important for development to talk about organ in Nigeria, actually in Lagos.
Of also bringing all these people
Definitely, and that's why we are bringing back this series. So we will go after every one of them.
As they bring together, not
of course, definitely. Okay. We have series of program we are curating, we are planning already. Yeah, we'll bring you also, so we can. There's nothing bad in us having an organ, concert where we bring people together, an event, and we are planning an event for July. Perhaps that's where we are going to have everybody. The Organist second international symposium on African music. So it's a global, it's an international event. We've had one last year, and this year is even going to be bigger. 5 days of engagement, performance. All this. Some of the concerts we played earlier were recorded at that event last year. Wow. So we have the best hand in town playing at that event, and this year we are going to curate some very, very, very pathetic, big, musicians to come and play at that event. So get ready for our invites. Yeah. So thank you so much, friends and colleagues. Yes, this is just the beginning of this kind of curation. Every month we are going to have this kind of conversation, going after them across wherever they are. They are very busy. It's so interesting. I'm happy that Mr. Alaba can join us. He's very, very busy, as you can see. He's rehearsing from Ikoyi, rehearsing to Ikeja, rehearsing to everywhere, rehearsing. Yes, so but we really appreciate that. We really appreciate it. So, friends and colleagues, for today, this is the end for this conversation. You can follow us. I dropped the YouTube link, and also follow us on social media. Yeah. Definitely next week will be another conversation, but you will see our advert and posters around. You can always follow us on YouTube. This particular recording will be on YouTube. Yeah, our events are there. We are visible online, social media, on X, on Instagram. Then you can also reach out to us. We are open for collaborations. We are having festivals. Want us to talk about your event? We will be happy to talk about it. But within this Nigerian development context, yeah, because anything you do is part of Nigeria. So we should project it that way. And we are willing, our platform is meant for that, to sustain, promote, develop, challenge, and expose those great people who are bring them to limelight, and let's engage them and celebrate them most importantly. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.